Hey everybody, it's Brooke. I have come back in our series of come and play with me, craft with me kind of videos, and I'm going to make what I call a jam-packed journal card. Some of the things we're going to use are a corner chomper, which you really don't have to have. You can use scissors, you can leave your corners straight, whatever works for you. Pen, some scissors, craft knife, a ruler, a pencil, and a bone folder. And I don't know if I said paper. Some paper to make it with. The idea from this came actually from Tim Holtz. I had seen his new die that I think he calls I can't even remember what he calls it, but it's a die that has little slots. It cuts out a journal card with little slots. Maybe it's called slotted something. Anyway, it cuts out little slots so you can put stuff in it, and then it makes a label for down at the bottom. And I was so excited. It looked awesome. But then when I saw it in person, it's really small. I wanted it bigger, and then I wanted to change it, and so I did. So that's where we're going with this. The paper I'm using is Tim Holtz paper. It's Paper Stash 8x8. I think I've had this for a while. It might have been from Joann's, but just go inside and find a piece that we like. I like all of it. What am I saying? I just love his stuff. His papers are gorgeous. Oh, you know what? I like this. I have fabric that's like this. His postal fabric. So let's take this page out. And again, this is 8x8. I really like how this number looks. And I want to cut it down to be 6x8. Again, purely preference. You can make this any old size you like. But instead of getting out my cutter and whacking the camera and making you all nauseous, let me give it a shot with my craft knife. So I'm leaving it 8 inches wide, and I'm just cutting off the top 2 inches. Me and a craft knife talking to the camera, anything could happen. So we've got that piece off, and I'll just set it aside. That's a good scrap. And now we have this 6x8 piece, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half. That looks pretty good. What I do is press it in the middle and then grab my bone folder and give it a good smush. And I'm not going to round the corners yet in case I change my mind. I'll wait till it's done and then see how it looks. But I'm just loving the British flag and the number, and I just think this looks great. And this is going to be the inside. So where Tim Holtz's die is just the one, you just get a journal card, we're going to make ours into a little booklet. So you end up with even more space for photos or little tuck spots or whatever you want to do with it. But once again, in my eternal quest for more real estate, this works for me. So now what I'm going to do is turn it inside out, because we're going to do some penciling, and this way, first of all, it's easier to see where you're penciling without all the pattern, but it also isn't going to show at the end, so you can be as messy as you want. Pardon me. Allergies are just terrible here. I don't know about everybody else, but the pollen is out there for sure. So I'm going to grab my pen, this one is a 5, just to be able to see it a little better. And I've lined it up on my cutting board, and I'm going to mark the outside edges at about a 1/2 inch. Well, exactly a 1/2 inch. And a 1/2 inch on this side. Get that lined up. Then I'm going to go down from the top 1 inch. And I only want 3 slots in this one. In Tim's, I think they're 5, and I just don't want that many. So I did the math, and hopefully I did it right. We'll find out in a minute. I'm going to go down 1 inch, and then I'm going to go down a 1/2 inch from there. Can you see is my big noggin in the way? No, just the shadow. I'm the shadow girl. I'm going to go down 1.25 inches from there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little dots. Are you kidding me? Are these crooked? I am incapable of doing anything straight. So If you're looking for perfection, I don't think this is going to be the channel for you, because I'm just all over the place. But I have a whole lot of fun. So these little slots are going to be 1/2 inch wide. I'm going to go down another 1.25 inches. 2, 3, 4, 5. Make that line. And go down 1/2. Don't move. Go down 1/2 inch from there. Oh, I don't know if my math did work out, but that's okay. We'll make it right. We can live with it. Oh, no, that looks pretty close. Cool. So I don't know if you can see it. I'll hold it up closer. So we've done the marking on the sides, and then we've marked out where we want to cut the slots. And because I have the attention span of a gnat, I'm going to go ahead and make these marks to show me where to cut. I want to cut those pieces out. So what I'm going to do is take my handy dandy knife and my handy dandy ruler and just start cutting. So I'm going to start on the outside. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start over here because you can see it better. I'm going to start on this outside edge and just cut our little slot places. And go over to this edge. Actually, maybe we'll turn it around this way. The reason I'm doing that is because that way I can see exactly where to cut in between these lines. And I'm pressing, you know, medium hard. I'll probably have to go back over it, but that's fine. I'm going to cut there, and cut there, and cut there. And then we'll turn it this way and start cutting out the slots themselves. And I'll be honest, I actually I loved how this looked when I made a couple, and so I ended up making it on my Cricut, because then I don't have to do all the measuring and cutting with a craft knife. But this works just fine as well, because I know not everyone has a Cricut. Go ahead and cut on this line, and the next one. And probably scoot this over a little bit so I can see it better. My poor cutting mat is in rough shape. It's getting so it's not self-healing anymore. I just hate to have to buy a new one because they are frickin' expensive. Even with a 50% off coupon. I've been putting it off, but it's not working that well anymore, and I've already flipped it over, so I guess it's getting to be about that time. Alright, so let's see where we are in terms of having cut those. Pretty good. Yep, we do need to do a little extra surgery, so just go in there and give it a whack. See, that peels up pretty well. That one came right out. See if we can get that one loose. Oh, good. Worked out pretty well. Looks like my end cuts were the ones that weren't so great. And try this last one. Catch it with our craft knife. Oh, yep. Not bad on the cutting. And again, these lines don't matter because we're going to cover that up. So we've got these bits, and I'm going to go ahead and throw those away. Put my craft knife out of the way. Fold this up again. Poof! Coming right along. Now, if we want to be super fancy, let's be fancy. Excuse my reach. We can go ahead and ink up these slots on the edges of the journaling card. A little hard to get in there, but not too bad. And I'm thinking that I could make a tab for this or something with my fabric that coordinates with it, the postal fabric from Tim Holtz. If you're interested, that is on our Etsy shop still. We've got plenty. Oh, and I'm happy that when we cut this slot out, it still left a lot of these bold numbers sticking out. That makes me happy. As long as we're inking, what the heck? Let's go ahead and do the edges. You can see why I call this a jam-packed journal card, because those little slots are just waiting for things to go into. And then again, you've got the double spread inside, and you've got the whole back as well if you decide not to stick it down on your page. So there's that. Now what I'm going to do on the inside, it's 4 by 6, right? So I've got this piece of coffee dyed notebook paper, and I love how it came out. I may or may not have left it in the oven a tad too long. That's all right. It all worked out fine in the end. It ran a little bit. It turned this really cool green color, I think because the blue notebook paper lines ran, but I really like how it looks. So what I'm going to do is cut out a piece that's a little smaller than 4 by 6. So again, let's go ahead and use our cutting mat and our knife so that I don't have to pull out the cutter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have to count out loud. Ooh, and I'm going to need the metal side. Oh, for Pete's sake. Get yourself together, Brooke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I just realized I have left the heater going this whole time. Yes, it is the middle of May, and I have my space heater running. Hopefully you can't hear it in the background because I don't want to make this video again. The nice old man will tell me he's the boss of me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, right, so I forgot to cut it a little short, but I'll do it this time. So I'm going about 1/4 of an inch short of 4. And we'll cut it about 1/4 of an inch shorter than this. Square that up somewhat. I'm using a ruler and a cutting mat, and I still don't think it's straight. What does that mean? What does it say about me? Is that my big head? Sorry. Still not, I'm still pretty new at doing this journal with me or craft with me thing, so be patient, please. So we have this, and what we're going to end up doing is putting it right over the slots. Excuse me. Oh, that's just wonderful. We're going to cover up the slots for 2 reasons. One being that it gives us journaling space on this back side. The other being that when we close it up, it actually is going to help the pieces that we stick in or the photos that we stick in have a little friction and stay where you put them without gluing if you don't want to. So what I'm going to do is just go around the very edges because we don't want to glue the middle down because then it would be very difficult to slide things behind those slots. So I'm going to take that and center it as best I can. And what's funny about this is it was on the baking rack crooked. So the paper's straight, but it looks crooked because of the way the baking rack was. Yeah, once again, how like me. Oh, I kind of wish I'd inked the edges of that before I glued it down, but too late now. So we will just soldier on. Give it a nice burnish, squish it all. Make sure that glue has some good contact. So that's what the front looks like now, and I just love that. And you open it up, and there's some journaling space. There's a place again for another photo or more journaling or whatever you want to do. And then there's the back side as well. And you know what I'm thinking? Because I'm crazy that way. We've got these scraps that were left. I'm thinking, what if we took this and made a little pocket right there? Let's do it. Let us do it. So we want this to be a little shorter than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right about there. Make sure that fits in with the fold. It does just beautifully. I'm going to go ahead and make a thumb notch. I like how that looks on a pocket, especially when there's so much going on. So I've just got my circle punch here and feed it in roughly the middle. Looks like the middle to me. Perfect. And again, take my Tim Holtz Distress Ink. This project brought to you by Tim Holtz's unbelievably fabulous products. Just go around those edges. And I think that looks great right there. So it can be a journal spot and a tuck spot or whatever you like. You can go crazy with this. And I'm just going right around the 3 edges. And putting that right down there, holding it in place, giving it a squish. Oh my goodness, how much do I love that. That is the cutest thing ever. It looks like we've got a little bit of a crookedness here. So I'm going to take my scissors and, whoops, take my scissors and give this a little bit of a nip where I didn't get it put on straight. And again, I'm fine with that. I'm so not, oh, that was off camera, sorry. So not picky. Handmade, right? So that closes up like that. And then you have places where you can tuck your stuff. Pieces in there. Here, I'll do it this way so you can see it a little better. You can put a piece there. Tear this so you can see. Little photo right in there. Something right in there. Do it this way. Put them straight, put them crooked, put in photos, tickets, whatever you like. And then when you open it up, you've got journaling space. We've got another pocket here. And then you've got that whole pocket there, or the whole back side there. So I think that's adorable. Maybe use a decorated paper clip to close it. Slide it into another pocket. Clip it to a page. Glue it right down to your page. Just leave it as a journaling spot if you don't have anything to put on the back. The possibilities are endless, but I did think I would share that with you because I've had a lot of fun making these and a lot of fun using them. So that is that. Thank you so much for sticking with me and playing with me today. All the information that you need will be right down below in the description. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss any of our hijinkery, and we will talk to you later. Have a great evening. Bye.